Greetings, dear brothers and sisters, dear sons and daughters in the light. I am Divine Universal Master, Lord Emmanuel the Great, and we welcome you here to these spaces of divine love and divine learning. And as always, you will have a spiritual feast, spiritual knowledge that will reach your hearts and also open your minds to greater advancement, to helping you understand the beauty of all of evolution, to help you understand more about empowerment, more about yourselves, and more about how your mind and your brain works. Because all this knowledge is to help you understand yourselves and understand the way you flow and how you can move forward. And whenever we as light beings come through at these times, we teach you how to become stronger with more love in your hearts and with more empowering information so that you can step more into your life with greater knowledge and greater power. And thus, when you shine your beautiful light to others, they will also feel it and they will sense it. And they will sense your changes. And they will not understand at that time why you have changed so much. Why your purpose has become greater. Why you are peaceful when others are not. So when you are gathered here together with us, you gather gems of wisdom and gems of knowledge that truly help you advance. And this helps you in all parts of your lives, whether it's your family life or your very personal life, your friend relationship, your careers, helping you to move forward with opening your mind to higher things, higher issues, so that you can reason higher. And evolution is all about receiving deeper wisdom to help you see forward with greater clarity. For those who see greater clarity, they have deeper insight. So whenever you sit with light beings like this at this time, you receive information that truly helps your life. And all the teachings are structurally balanced in all ways so that you can learn like at a school to put these teachings and these new skills into place so that you can work with it. So our teachings are not just information to entertain you at this time. It is workable. It is for you to be able to work with. And when you work with it, friends, you gain the joy and the great wisdom. So this is why it's so important to come to these classes, because this is the University of Light. And this is the place where you will find the greatest knowledge in all the universe. Right here with divine beings of great love. And this is why we always say welcome to all those wise ones who hear our words and recognize these divine teachings and who desire to dwell with the love within their lives. And we always say, happy are the ones that receive these divine blessings, for these blessings will enrich your lives. So I will allow myself to step back now for a moment to allow Sarah, Pleiadian High Priestess, to come through for you with a beautiful blessing. Greetings, I am Divine Universal Master, Lord Emmanuel the Great. Akomoha Halima. Greetings, I am Sarah, Pleiadian Master, Pleiadian Guide, and Pleiadian High Priestess. Beautiful to be here. We always greet you with much excitement, because it is with excitement that we come through for you. When our hearts are excited and are excited, our hearts speak with expressions of love and light for you. And it's this very excitement that brings up our vibrations and brings our strength up to bring through so many blessings of divine love. It's that vibration, friends. When you are happy, you are higher in the vibration and you laugh a lot. And when you laugh a lot, you are able to receive spirit messages more so and receive it within your heart. On our Pleiadian realms, we are always filled with so much joy and so much love. And we never congregate together with too much seriousness. For seriousness brings the energies and the vibrations down. It is almost like the vibrations thicken, and when it is thicker, the vibrations slow down, and thus the information comes through slower. Because everything that is dense becomes more heavy, and then the vibrations of spirit cannot truly reach us. So when we are gathered in our temples together, we always laugh a lot, and we are always happy, and we share happy moments with everyone. What is my message here? Well, my message is for you to laugh a lot and not to take life too seriously. For when you take life too seriously, your space condenses and you will find it harder to reach spirit spaces. And it's in the spirit spaces that you will find true joy and love and healing. Yeah, kuno'i, may you always remember this message, and may you learn to dwell with more love within your hearts. I would like to bring through a prayer for you, a prayer of great love from our Pleiadian realms. Now, when we exist in the Pleiadian realms, our vibrations are a lot higher than the vibrations here upon this earth. And our language that we speak is much faster than your English language here. And we as Pleiadians find the English language very limiting, because our language is filled with expression and filled with colors. And we find English, especially English, and there are other languages here upon this earth that are very limited with their expression. So when we sing our prayers to you, we fill it up with colors and fill it up with love to help you understand and grasp us more as beautiful Pleiadian beings who are your star friends. When you are listening, you will receive it within your hearts, not only your ears. hero, Pleiadian master, Pleiadian guide, Pleiadian high priestess, greetings. Greetings, dear ones. I am Divine Universal Master Lord Emmanuel the Great. And again we will say to you, welcome to these divine learning spaces where you learn to advance. So we ask you to take a few notes, to listen to the teachings, and to take notes so that you benefit from it in your own lives. And then afterwards, we like you to investigate those very notes and to break it down once again into main points. For you will see that everything follows order and everything is in sequence. And we as teachers, we bring these points into sequence because everything is in order. In the universe, in a great universe, everything is organized into order. We live in spaces of great harmony. We understand each one who lives in our beautiful realms, and we recognize each other with their sacred gifts and sacred talents. And when we all work together, we live in harmony in very high spaces. You also have many sacred gifts. And these sacred gifts are about learning to work with each other in harmony and to recognize yourselves with sacred gifts and then recognize others with sacred gifts, to learn to play together. You were created to do this. You were created with divine sacred knowledge and sacred gifts. And your purpose was to come to this earth and to recognize your sacred gifts, and then to recognize other people's gifts, and then to recognize how to work together with empowerment and harmony. Many people upon your plane do not see it this way. They live in great competition, and many live in great fear of not being recognized or not being good enough for their great gifts. And what happens then is, because of this great fear, it stops you from evolving into your higher gifts. And thus you may work with lifetimes with the same gift and never excelling at it because of your fear. Many people, they fear success and they fear becoming too recognized, and they fear of climbing up the ladder, as you call it, too high, so that others lose interest in their very talent. People have all types of fears, and people have all types of different understandings about themselves. Many times when others are in fear of not achieving, they will run others down with those beautiful talents that these people would only wish they could have. And instead of learning from them, learning how to excel with these talents, they will run they will try to cut them out of their lives. We ask you at this time, how would that help you on your beautiful journey? How would that help you to excel with evolution? And how would that help your human race? For you all came here with magnificent spiritual gifts. Many of you came here with at least 5 or 6. For those young ones, there would be at least 3. And the more advanced, 7 or more. Depending on your evolution, depends on the amounts of gifts that you have. Can you name your gifts? Have you recognized yourself for the beautiful power that is within you? Are you honest enough with you to note them down? Or are you afraid that you think you might have them, but you're not quite enough to recognize it, to commit yourself to it, and to put it on paper, and to discuss it with others? What happens to a beautiful person who recognizes their gifts? And here again, many people have trouble. They somehow believe that when you recognize your beautiful gifts, it's almost like skiting. And when you skite about it, it's like almost stepping into your ego self. And you become so afraid of that ego self taking over that you do not recognize your own gifts. And there's a lot of difference, friends, between stepping into your own ego and stepping into your own gifts. And it is your right, your spiritual right, to recognize your beautiful spiritual gifts. Can you write that down, please? It is your absolute right to recognize your gifts. When you have true gifts, friends, and they don't always have to be about clairvoyance or mediumship or doing on the spiritual work side, this could be about anything in your life, such as teaching children or singing, acting, dancing, doing beautiful natural work, working with plants and animals. These are all spiritual gifts. When you do not recognize it, friends, when you do not recognize your own spiritual gifts, you will never excel at learning them and at advancing with them, at truly growing with it. As soon as a person begins to recognize these beautiful gifts, their energy begins to grow with it. And you begin to take on higher patterns, and these higher patterns are higher codes of frequencies that will implant within your own energy body to give you knowledge of those particular gifts. And this is because you keep learning. You're always learning and you're always advancing. But as soon as you stop recognizing your own gifts, or as soon as you stop wanting to go there in fear of not achieving that very thing that you feel so much within, you are cutting that energy off. And you will not achieve it in this lifetime, friends. And then in the next lifetime, you'll come back again, and again you will come with the same gifts. And again, your challenge will be to own your spiritual gifts, to recognize them, and then to allow them to be nurtured and grow. Please note that. Allow them to be nurtured and to grow. anything needs to be nurtured, friends. A child needs to be nurtured. When you have a beautiful child, whether it's a boy or a girl, and you recognize that child for their gifts, what do you do as a loving parent? Do you take it away from them? Do you not talk about it? Do you encourage that child to excel at those beautiful gifts? Do you give positive feedback? Do you keep working with that child in a loving way, not pressuring them? Pressuring them stops again that energy flow. For energy flows, friends. Energy is strong, but at the same time it's gentle, peaceful, loving. When you can nurture a child with these same frequencies, you have great gifts within that child. And that child will own their spiritual gifts. And they will recognize it and grow with it in their lives. But if a parent treats them harshly and denies them that right to learn, and keeps saying that child does not know anything, that child will grow up with a very poor self-esteem. For it is so important that a close parent recognizes that child. For a parent is everything to that child. We are your parents also. We are your spiritual shepherds. We love you so much. And we will never say to you, do not look at your spiritual gifts. For your spiritual gifts don't mean anything. Instead we say, own your spiritual gifts. See the gifts that you came here with. Learn to work with them. Learn to desire it more than anything. Learn to understand who you are within. Learn to recognize your divine self within. Learn to flow with the light that you are. Learn to feel your divinity within. Many people will question this and say, how do you do that? How do you truly discover your inner spiritual gifts? And then how do you truly nurture them? And each time you will revisit the same topic. For when you grow, friends, you will grow with more knowledge and wisdom, and you will become a greater person as such with greater gifts. And when you begin to understand your greater gifts, new opportunities will come to you for you to grow into. So you are completely unlimited. Once you have achieved certain lessons in your life, greater doors open with greater rewards and greater gifts. Thus, not one of you can truly state on a piece of paper, these are my true gifts and I have no other gifts. For the other gifts will form once these first gifts have been recognized. And thus it is so important for you to recognize your own spiritual gifts first. This takes some investigation, friends. This takes some homework. First, you may think, well, that's reasonably easy for me to state. What is my spiritual gift? What is my main spiritual gifts? And what are my number of gifts? I will simply write it on a piece of paper and then I'll leave it alone. And yet each gift, friends, has subcategories. a beautiful gift, but possibly not recognized the importance of it. Possibly not recognized why you were so interested in developing that gift and then receiving these other gifts. And at times these other gifts are more important, friends. Why? Because everything has a purpose. Everything that you study, everything that you desire in life has a deeper purpose. And this is because you are always guided. And at times you will not follow your inner guidance and you will go into another place. But this is a universe of freedom. So there is no having to do anything. If your inner gift was to become a doctor and your parents said it's better to become a policeman, and you will always feel that craving that you wanted to help people with your medical knowledge, but now you had to face criminals on the street, you will never be truly satisfied, but you may never achieve that medical degree. However, in the next lifetime, you will be given another opportunity to receive that medical degree. But then the medical degree may lead to many, many other gifts. You may discover that you're also very intuitive and you can work with the energy body, and you can begin to understand how the physical biological being is very energetic. And so you begin to discover whole new ways of understanding medicine. And many people upon this plane have those gifts. But it's not until you begin to discover your deeper gifts and why you chose your career that you will discover the subcategories. And often the subcategories work towards a greater gift. And once you understand that greater gift, you will open up a whole new gateway for higher learning. You are all connected to Divine Source. And Divine Source is unlimited with spaces and knowledge. And this is why you are not limited beings. Because once you reach other platforms, you will be able to grasp higher understanding and bring that higher understanding towards the earth and bring it in for evolution for mankind. So if you can place your spiritual gifts on that piece of paper, understand that this is only the beginning of your knowledge towards something greater, because you're completely unlimited. But that first step must be recognized, friends. If you cannot write your spiritual gifts of why you came here to this plane and what you truly desire and what you are discovering about yourself, you can never reach that higher potential. And we are here to help you open gateways to higher understanding and higher potential, because that's the way that you flow. When you open yourself to who you are and you become honest with yourself and truly go within, what happens on higher levels is that higher waves can come to you, just like I've discussed before, and you are able to receive higher knowledge, and that higher knowledge becomes a part of you, and thus you gain greater clarity and you begin to see more. And this is how the great inventors reach their higher thought forms. They allow their deeper selves to connect up higher, and they allow that knowledge to come in, and they know so much. They cannot put words to that knowledge, and they cannot put even theories as such to that knowledge, but there's a knowing. So it starts with a knowing. So they place that knowing upon paper and they begin to discover it. How they know? Many of them don't understand. They may have had a dream, or they may have had higher understanding somehow. But what they're really doing is becoming part of that greater wavelength, that greater wave of higher knowledge. And they have claimed it because they've taken part of it into their own existence, and they are working with it. So they begin to play with it. How is this working and how is that working? And at times it may take them life years to understand how something works. And at times, even a whole lifetime is not enough for them to discover it. So they will write down all their works, hoping that someone in another lifetime will catch a glimpse of what they know and begin to work with it. And this is how mankind has always evolved. It begins with a dream and an idea. They don't know where that dream comes from. They don't know where that idea comes from. How did the telephone come about? It's the same with the light bulb, the first car. It begins with an idea. And then the idea begins to play. This was part of their spiritual gift, to be able to reach higher waveforms and to grasp higher ideas. So if they discovered that for themselves, they would place that on a piece of paper. But what would they actually place upon that piece of paper? Probably inventor. But the subcategories would be things like being able to grasp higher knowledge from another thought wave, to place it within their own existence, to begin to play with it. To evolve mankind with higher thinking, to bring more knowledge to this earth so that mankind can grow with existence. Can you begin to grasp that, friends? Can you begin to grasp the importance of understanding what you are and what you have? Begin to look at your world then with other eyes. How inventors, how professors, how scientists have been able to work with theories and then bring higher technology upon your plane. Why am I teaching this as Divine Universal Master Lord Emmanuel the Great? Is it because I am saying as a divine being go and invent? No, friends, but I am giving you this illustration because your mind works very well with illustrations. Because when I'm talking with an illustration, you're seeing it in your mind because you're living in that time when you see so much technology happen and you grasp it. And thus when you grasp it, you begin to see how it all works. And when you grasp how it all works, you begin to become more flexible with your thinking, and thus you gain greater capacity for learning, and you begin to recognize your own importance. For you are as important as those inventors and those professors. However, your gift may not be of a professor or of an inventor, but of a spiritual healer or a teacher. And then write that down. And then try very hard to meditate upon it. And then subcategorize it. What have you learned from those main gifts? Because it's then, friends, that you open gateways for yourself. It is then that you begin to grasp higher thought forms more, because you begin to claim it. When you begin to claim it, it becomes part of you. If you constantly say to yourself, I see that gift in another, but I cannot see that gift in myself, I will never reach those gifts, you're cutting the energy off right there. You will not be able to achieve it. However, who says, friends, that you couldn't achieve it, or you couldn't achieve it even greater than the one that you admire? Because you are also a divine being, and you've also come here with divine gifts. So perhaps maybe that person was there to teach you that you can also do it. But if you do not see it, then how can that divine purpose be fulfilled within your own being? And then the very next lifetime, you might have to address that again. And we are very patient, friends. Even if it takes 20 lifetimes for you to recognize yourselves, we are very, very patient. However, we are desiring to speed it up. And how do we speed it up? By teaching you directly. Because this is such an important teaching. You see, these teachings, friends, help to empower you. As soon as you begin to claim it, you are placing your right upon it. It's almost like you have a stamp, one that seals your own agreement to yourself, and you stamp it, and you say, this is mine to have, and I am free to investigate it. What happens then is that your insight becomes greater. So your understanding of a certain category becomes greater, filled with more wisdom, and a few months from now you will begin to recognize how much you have grown. And all of a sudden, greater platforms are reached. Your understanding of what you thought was has just risen so much more. And now you're able to see more, work with it more. You've done so much more. You have reached that goal. And then higher goals begin to form. Why? Because you are energetically stronger. Energetically, you've claimed it. Can you begin to grasp the importance of this thing? We ask you with all our beautiful love for you never to deny your own growth and never to deny your own spiritual gifts. Because when one denies their own spiritual gifts, they become very sad and depressed, because you were created to see yourself as beautiful. You were created with the power to create your own lives. You were given the power. You came here with gifts to discover. And when you discover it, you grow with love and insight, and doors begin to open. But when you do not see it, when you do not understand it, when you're keeping angry with yourself and denying your own power, you become very confused and depressed and, as you would often say, blocked. Now is the time of the Great Awakening, and an awakened race means an awakened race who works in harmony together, not fighting against each other, but working in harmony together and seeing the gifted ones. And who are the gifted ones? You are all gifted ones. It's not only one individual, it is all of you. But do you recognize that? And at this time it may be very easy for you to say, yes, I recognize that, I understand that. And yet mankind has so much trouble with recognizing other people as spiritually gifted. You often see this with high talented people, and then a jealousy comes into it, and then the snubbing, the not recognizing, not wanting to go there, not wanting to support them, and all that comes into it. And we say as divine beings, but friends, can you not see that we've sent gifted ones to you that are incredibly gifted to raise the bar a bit? Because if there are no gifted ones, if there are no incredibly gifted ones who come here to this plane, how can you evolve? How can you see new boundaries as in higher boundaries? How can you rise? Why do you keep fighting against all this? Why do you not see it? Why do you not go to these ones and say, teach me, I want to raise my own gifts up higher? And we ask you this because the Great Awakening consciousness is about encouraging each other to work with higher flows. Because what are you wanting to achieve in this world and in your life? Please also note this down. Note that down. What is your ultimate game? What is your ultimate spiritual purpose here upon this earth, friends? Is it just to come here lifetime to lifetime? Wondering what your purpose is? Is that why you're here? Is it to find your healing powers and that's it? Is it to teach schools and be irritated and depressed in a society? Is it to always see others die? Is it to always witness how there are food shortages and trees dying and the earth dying? Is it really why you are here? And we're asking you these questions to open your mind so you can truly make a stand for why you came here. For we as divine beings, friends, are not here to, as you would say, muck about. And always, as we also say to Suzanna, we're not here to plant the roses. We're not here to muck about with little things. We're not here to come here lifetime after lifetime doing the same things, telling the people, awaken please, so that you can do this and so that you can do that, and you go off here, and you go off there and do some healing over there. That's right. We're not here to do that, friends. We're here to bring higher streams of consciousness to the plane so that you can bring in peace and love upon this plane, so the wars go, so the food shortages go, so all of disease goes, so that people can truly work in harmony together, so that you can truly be that awakened class that was always prophesied about. And when you hear these words, there will be a recognition within yourself to say, that is right. It rings truth within my heart. Perhaps this is your ultimate purpose for coming here again and again. For you also had a choice, friends. You also had a great choice. You could have stayed up in spirit and being with all your beautiful soul friends up there. So why is it that you come here to this earth in harsh conditions over and over and over again? Is it to be depressed, to find sadness, to lose loved ones? Really? No, friends, this is not why you came here. It's only an illusion. You came here to bring through loving energies, to work with it, to bring love and peace upon your plane, to work in harmony together, to recognize the great gift of others, to recognize the great gifted ones that lift up the boundary, that lift up the bar, so that you have that to work towards, to bring in the new spiritual age. Can you write down that too, please? To bring in the new spiritual age. You see, where you're going, friends, you are going towards places that you have never discovered before. Higher evolution, higher technology, higher ways of being. But you can't achieve that until you begin to recognize how important you are. How important it is for you to evolve higher with placing your spiritual gifts on that piece of paper. And then finding the subcategories. Because then you begin to claim it. And then you begin to own it. And then you begin to see it. And then you begin to breathe it and become it. And this is your own spiritual journey. And then you begin to see how important these teachings are. And you'll long for that time when mankind awakens to it. This is why we as divine beings are here teaching you. Not to entertain you. Not to bring down teachings that don't mean anything. But here to teach you how to awaken. And how to step into your spiritual strength. And how to work with it. And how to flow with it. And so this was my teaching for tonight. To awaken you more to your own spiritual gifts. So I'm going to ask you, as a grand divine master, how are you going to use the information that you received tonight? Are you going to say over a cup of tea, well, that was very good, I really enjoyed it. Yes, I will have to think about it, but then the next day comes and you forget about it. Or will you truly ponder upon it? Will you truly think about it and then do something about it? So let us go over some of the main points so that you can truly work it. And then in the coming few weeks, you will see how this is all working towards your greater purpose because you're learning to claim it. So we introduce to you the thought of owning your spiritual gifts and to claim it. To start writing it down and also keep adding to it. And then perhaps you might discover that you're already discovering the subcategories. So change it. Perhaps one main heading and many subcategories under it. What happens then is the energy of that begins to strengthen. Why? Because you're accepting it. You're claiming to be whatever is on that piece of paper. When you claim it, the energy patterns become greater because you're all energy beings and you are working in energies. So you're grabbing it with all your mind and you're claiming it. And they begin to strengthen because you are owning it. Also note down the behaviors that you have, such as, I find it very hard to claim, for instance, that I'm an energy healer, or I can see spirit. Note that down, but then on the other side you can say, I know I can see spirit and I'm claiming it, but I'm very interested in the thought that I'm finding it very difficult at the same time. So why is it? So then begin to investigate that. But now you're opening your mind and you're being honest to yourself. So you can also play that game. But in your main list, write down your spiritual gifts. Even if you have just started to discover it, or you know you have it within you, but you're not quite certain. So write it down. Because as soon as you write it down, friends, it's magic what happens. The energy of that will begin to strengthen, which means that you are becoming more settled with those energy patterns, so they become stronger and they will become more evident in your life. So that was very important. And that was one of the main teachings of tonight. But also understand, friends, that you didn't come here to just be here lifetime after lifetime, unless you desire that. Unless you want to do this lifetime that you're having at this time many times over. You are our guest, and we will always welcome you back to this earth to discover your pain over and over again. That is fine, because everything is an illusion and you're able to play with time. If you want to travel back into the same lifetime over and over again, or witness pay, that is fine. However, that's not your path. Your path is of evolution and to go strong and to become strong. And that is why you came here. As a beautiful being of love, you are already strong. But you are here to evolve up higher. So you came here to learn to bring loving energies of peace and love. So this can also be placed upon your list. And as soon as you begin to do that, that energy will be strengthened. And also please remember, friends, that you're here to play with harmony. You're here to play with other people. And you're here to understand other people's gifts, to recognize them, to admire them, to encourage them, and to understand those incredibly gifted people, not to be envied, not to be cut down in any way, not to be gossiped about or try and get rid of them, but to recognize that they are here to help your spiritual evolution. They are here to raise the spiritual bar so that your future generations and your future lifetimes can be greatly blessed. Because if it wasn't for these beautiful people, then spiritual evolution would never happen, because you'd always stay the same. So please stop doing this. Work in harmony with these gifted people. Allow them to show you the greater way, and then work from them. Work from there and work into that higher gift pattern to understand higher evolution. And your great ways will be blessed. And you will love your life, and you will see great hope, and you will trust Spirit, and you will flourish in your life, and you will be truly happy knowing that you have found your true purpose. So, what a wonderful teaching this was. May it strengthen you with everything that you do. May you recognize yourself, and may you go well on your beautiful life journey. Greetings, I am Divine Universal Master, Lord Emmanuel the Great.